everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Meredith E. Phillips, and today I'm super excited to share with you what I am planning to do this coming weekend, May 21st and 22nd. You are invited to join me for parts of it. So I had this idea back in March, and this coming weekend is like the first opportunity I really have to actually do this. So what I'm doing is a sort of DIY writing retreat / writing conference. I'm going to be hosting live streams on both of the days, Saturday and Sunday. So I hope you can make it to one or both. I'll put links to the live streams. All the times, all the info will be in the description. So hopefully we can get together over the next weekend and get some work done. But my weekend is going to consist of a little more than just those live streams. I'm going to be doing a little writing retreat, writing conference for myself here at my house. So when I think of a writing retreat, I usually think of either one person or maybe a small group of writer friends going away somewhere for maybe a weekend to get some work done on their writing projects. People will rent like a hotel room or a suite of rooms, or they'll do like an Airbnb situation. There's also those really cute getaway cabins that are super cozy if you want to do a solo writing retreat or maybe a retreat with like one friend. They're kind of tiny for a group, but the point of a writing retreat should be getting work done on your writing. In contrast, a writing conference is usually, again, somewhere you're going away to the conference. I know in the last couple of years we've had a lot of virtual conferences, which is, it makes it more accessible, I think, for a lot of people, but generally they're usually away somewhere. You're going to a hotel with like a conference space or some sort of big auditorium situation. There's usually speakers. There's sometimes conferences that are more geared toward meeting other people and networking. And the focus of a writing conference isn't really on making progress on your writing. It's more on learning about the writing process, learning new techniques, learning about the industry, being inspired and motivated by speakers and that kind of thing. So I wanted to have a weekend where I sort of combined these two ideas of a writing retreat and a writing conference. And I'm going to be doing this right here at my house. One of the biggest limitations to those types of events is, of course, the cost. If you're doing a retreat with other people, you're spending money usually on renting an Airbnb or a hotel room of some sort. If you're away from your home, you're probably eating out, and you know, there's cost obviously involved in that. Writing conferences can get really expensive if you're, of course, having to purchase a ticket to get into the writing conference to start with. But usually, unless you're lucky and it just happens to be in your hometown, usually you're going away to it. And so you have to pay for whatever transportation it takes to get there. You're paying for accommodations, you're paying for food. Those can get really pricey. And of course, you have to be in a season of life where going away for a weekend is feasible for you. If you're a mom or a dad with young kids, you might not be able to just take off for a weekend. If you have other, obligations when it comes to job or family, and getting away for a weekend is just really difficult, that just might not be something you can do. So with this kind of DIY retreat situation that I'm going to be trying out, a lot of those costs are completely eliminated. I'm not paying a plane airfare. I'm not paying for a bunch of gas to go drive somewhere. I'm not paying for accommodations. So all of that cost is completely stripped out. You can, of course, get out of your house without having to like leave your town entirely. Of course, the ubiquitous coffee shop writer is certainly an option. You can go to a coffee shop right there for a little while. Usually there's a tiny cost involved because it's generally the polite thing to buy coffee if you're using their space to write in, but that's, $5, $6 to buy a little cup of coffee, which is much more doable than hundreds of dollars spent on a writing conference. You can also do what I'm going to do and go to your local library. I think most libraries at this point are open again to the public to come and do whatever in them. Not whatever, but like library things. So I'm going to try to go to my local library, find a table or a quiet spot to sit and work on my writing there. Coffee shops don't really work all that well for me. I get way too distracted by all the people and all the noise and all of the commotion going on. To me, it's not a great place to get work done. But getting out of the house and going to one of those other kinds of places can still make it feel like you're getting away a little bit just for a few hours, and it can sometimes help if you're stuck with writing or you find there's a lot of distractions in your own home. Going away somewhere where those distractions are eliminated can really be helpful in focusing on your work and getting it done. Obviously, not everyone is, again, in a season of life where they can even set aside a whole weekend to do this kind of thing at their own home. So if that's you and you feel like,
I don't have 2 full days to just sit around and write and be inspired by other writers,
that's totally fine. See if you can maybe set aside one afternoon or a couple hours here or there to do some of these kinds of activities. So I found a sample schedule that I really liked over on writermag.com. I'll link below to the little article and the write-up they have about what they're suggesting you do. And I'm going to take their schedule pretty closely. I think it's a good outline for the weekend, and I think it'll work well for me. So here's what I'm planning to do each day. I am going to try to get up early, so on Saturday, May 21st, I am planning to get up at my normal 6 a.m. wake up time. 7:30, I want to be getting ready, taking a shower, getting dressed, And 8:30 a.m. Central Time is going to be the first live stream. It's going to be the beginning of my little DIY retreat for myself, and it's going to be just let's open with some actual work on our projects. So it's just going to be a 2-hour-long live stream, writing sessions to focus on the work we need to do on our projects. I haven't done a live stream since I think NaNoWriMo, which was 6 months ago. Oh, so the live stream might be a little rough because I'm a little out of practice, but I wanted to have the live streams partly to keep myself accountable that I'm actually going to sit down and do writing work for that amount of time, but I also especially wanted to have this one early in the morning, right first thing for myself, so that I have to get up, I have to get ready, I have to be ready to go with my whole computer setup and all that, so that I'm not sitting around until 10 o'clock in the morning and wasting time. So the first live stream will be 8:30 Central Time, and it's just going to be one of my traditional get work done live streams. If you haven't been around one of my live streams, what I tend to do is I really want to focus on the work we need to get done. I don't spend a whole lot of time being super chatty. I'm an introvert, so I don't really usually have a whole lot to chat about. I tend to do 30-minute long writing sessions. I don't like to call them sprints because I'm not rushing over here. I'm just working, and then take a little break, chat a little bit, see how we're doing, etc., and then do another 30 minutes, break, another 30 minutes, kind of like that. At 10:30, I really liked this in the sample schedule that website had. They had a specific section for reading, and you can use this for whatever you want. If you want to read just your fiction, reading for pleasure kind of book, you can do that. If you're in the middle of a craft book or you want to look through a craft book, you could spend some time doing that. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to just sit and enjoy some reading for a while, or if I'm going to pick up a craft book and try to read some of that. I don't quite know yet, but that'll be at 10:30 for me. At 11 o'clock, I'm going to sort of transition into the writing conference sort of aspect of things. And what I've done is I've gone and looked on YouTube for interviews with some of my favorite authors, interviews with people who write romance books or other things like that, and I've found quite a few. So what I would suggest for you if you're trying to do something like this is think of your favorite authors and just put that in with interview. So Neil Gaiman interview, Mary Balog interview, and you will almost certainly, unless your author is super obscure, you're probably going to find something that you could sit and watch for a little while. It's kind of difficult to find really lengthy interviews with certain authors. You might end up finding a 10-minute video or a 15-minute video, but you could find, a couple of those kind of length videos and just watch them all together within the space of an hour. I did find some interviews that were about an hour long with some of my favorite authors, so I'm going to enjoy watching those. And the point of this section is like any writer conference. Hopefully, I will learn a little bit from them. Maybe they'll have some tips and tricks. Maybe they'll share some insight on their writing process. But generally speaking, what a lot of times these interviews do for me is it just makes me feel inspired to write, which is hopefully what we're, that's a feeling that we all want to have. It's hard to write when you're not really feeling inspired to do it. So I'm hoping that these interviews will help me feel inspired and motivated to get to work. At 12 o'clock, I'm going to take my lunch break for about an hour, take some time to kind of get up from my chair, walk around a little bit. At 1 o'clock, I'm going to do my second writing session of the day, and I'm going to try to go to the library for this. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to make this work with our car situation. We have one car. My husband works on Saturdays and he takes it to work. So if I can fiddle with the schedule to get the car so I can drive myself to the library, I will. If I'm just doing my regular, writing at my desk, that's fine too. But hopefully I'll be able to get out and do something outside of my house. And the library would be a great place to do it. At 3 o'clock, I'm going to have another of my video watching sessions and pick another of the interviews to watch. Maybe read a little bit more in a craft book or fiction book of my choosing. And then at 5 o'clock, it will be like the end of the day and I'll wrap things up for myself. My schedule for Sunday is going to be pretty similar. Still get up at the same kind of time and get to work around 8:30. The only big difference for the Sunday schedule is that the live stream for that day is going to be at 1 p.m. Central Time and go for 2 hours. And it'll be the same kind of thing, but just on Sunday afternoon. So I hope you'll be able to make it to one or both of those live streams. It'd be great to see you there. I hope we can get some work done together. The reason for the live streams is partly, again, like I said, to hold myself accountable to getting up and kind of getting with it. But also, I'm hoping it can perhaps simulate the like networking kind of thing that can sometimes happen at conferences. Conferences, you're of course you're sitting around with other writers all the time. You might meet a new writer friend. Some conferences are really aimed at meeting industry professionals and they have like literary agents there and editors and things like that, and you can have discussions with them on different things. Not that I think literary agents are going to be popping into our chat, but like general networking and meeting new people. So hopefully in the live streams, you'll be able to meet some new folks and either follow them on YouTube if they've got a channel here, or connect otherwise if they're just a writer and you guys could maybe be writer friends. That would be fun. I will definitely be vlogging the entire experience and post that probably the Friday after the retreat. So it'll be like the 27th that would go up. I hope this sounds like a fun plan. If you ever decide to do something like this for yourself, definitely let me know how it goes, and like if you have a different schedule for yourself, or if you have other ideas of things you can do to make it a fun weekend, like let me know. If this weekend works out really well for me and I enjoy it, it might be something I try to do maybe once a quarter or at least a couple times during the year. It's not always an easy thing to take 2 full days to just solely work on writing related stuff, but it's going to work out for me this coming weekend and I'm really excited about it. It's definitely more feasible and more realistic for me to do this than it is to go on an actual writing retreat or a conference. So again, I hope you'll join me next weekend at the 21st and 22nd. All the links to the live streams and the times and all that stuff will be in the description. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you next time. Bye. Ugh. I don't know when that went to sleep.